Have you ever stopped to think, what if leadership wasn't a title you hold, but something you actually do? And what if, get this, that very practice was backed by the science of happiness? Okay, let's dive right in.
We usually picture leadership as some box on an org chart, right? But we really need to challenge that whole idea. See, leadership isn't a thing, it's an action. It's all about the ability to guide, to steer behaviors, decisions, and even a team's energy towards one common goal.
And that right there, that's the big idea we're unpacking today. If leadership is all about guiding, then it's fundamentally about action. It's not about your title, it's about what you do day in and day out. And that means your personal example, well, that becomes the absolute core of how you lead. So let's get into why leading by example is just so powerful. And I'm not talking about some fluffy feel-good concept. Nope. There's real hard science that shows just how deeply it can influence an entire team. And here's the bottom line. People follow what is embodied. Just let that sink in for a second. It's not about the fancy speeches or the mission statements up on the wall. The science is crystal clear on this. People don't really follow what you say, they follow what you consistently do. And look, the evidence for this is super solid. We've got research from behavioral economics, positive psychology, even neuroscience. And they all point to the very same thing. Your actions are being watched, they're being processed, and they create real, tangible effects on your team. It's not magic, it's science. Okay, so what are these tangible effects? Well, the research boils it down to three big ones. First up, you slash uncertainty. Think about it. When a leader makes a clear, principled choice, it tells everyone else, okay, this is the way. This is what's safe and right to do. Next, you make the values real. Integrity is just a word on a poster until a leader acts with integrity. That's when it clicks for everyone. And finally, you create continuity. When you're consistent, those good actions become habits, and that's what turns cooperation into a real, lasting culture. So what does all this lead to? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. We start to see this incredibly powerful direct link between leading by example and, you guessed it, actual happiness at work. In fact, let's think about this in a totally new way. Leading by example isn't just a soft skill. It's basically a technology for happiness. Seriously. Think of it like a powerful, practical tool that you can use to literally engineer an environment where people can thrive. So how does this technology actually work? It's pretty cool. When a leader's example is credible, they create a space where everyone feels like they're part of a real team, a true we. And what happens then? Well, trust goes up and stress goes down. The work starts to feel more meaningful, and all that nasty, destructive competition, it just starts to fade away. Okay, this all sounds great, but how do you actually do it? Well, lucky for us, the source material gives us a fantastic, actionable framework. It breaks it all down into 4 different kinds of energy that every leader channels through their example. First, there's mental energy. This one is all about clarity. It's about being transparent and just communicating clearly. Every time you explain the why behind a decision instead of just giving an order, you're using your mental energy to cut through the fog for your team. Next up, emotional energy. So we're moving from the head to the heart here. This is all about altruism, putting the team first, and your ability to genuinely inspire people. It's that positive spark you create when you go out of your way to celebrate someone else's win. Then we have physical energy, and this one's dead simple. It's what you actually do. It's the concrete, see it with your own eyes actions you take every single day. When you roll up your sleeves and jump into the trenches to help meet a deadline, that's pure physical energy, and believe me, people notice. And last but not least, spiritual energy. And hey, let's be clear, this has nothing to do with religion. This is all about purpose. It's the deep why behind all the work. When you can connect the day-to-day tasks to a bigger shared mission, you're tapping into this powerful energy and making the work truly matter. So imagine you're consciously channeling all 4 of these energies through your actions every day. What happens? Let's tie this all together now and look at the massive impact you can have when you really, truly embody your leadership. And this brings us to the final, really powerful idea here. Your example doesn't just manage today's to-do list, it actually creates this amazing, positive feedback loop. It's a generative energy. You're not just maintaining the status quo, you are actively building a future with more productivity, more happiness, and more well-being for everyone.
Look, this isn't just some interesting theory. It's a challenge. It's a call to action. So I want to leave you with a really direct question to think about. After all this, what's the one behavior you're going to consciously put into practice this week to lead by your example.